Thank you, Dr. Bridges. Agriculture and forestry combine to form the largest industry in Georgia. Growth and development of these important industries created a vital need for human capital within our state. And as a faculty group at ABAC, we came together and asked ourselves what it would take for ABAC to become the premier, best natural resource management program in the state. Only through that did we feel like we could be a consistent source for the needed human capital to fuel those industries. Well, I'm here to tell you today, unequivocally and unabashed, that we are the best in the state, and quite honestly, we're the best in the entire Southeast region in the natural resource management field. Our graduates are more boots on the ground ready when they finish our program than any other program in the region. And they will be our much needed leaders and land managers for the natural resources for decades to come. What I'd like to do next is explain how that happened. It's a big feat for us to accomplish given that we just started our 4-year program 7 years ago. There are 5 primary things that we do in our program that are unique. They are the pillars of our success. First, we developed an advisory board made up of professionals, leaders in the forestry and wildlife industries across our state, and they helped guide our program's direction. They explained to us what they needed from our graduates when they entered the workforce. And so from that, we developed a renewed direction to improve the practical training our students received. By going through our program, they receive well over 800 hours of mentored in the field experience and education, doing the things that they will have to do once they get in the workforce. Most people call this experiential learning. We just call it doing what's right for our students. Also, what came from those meetings with our advisory board is a need for improved soft skills within our graduates. From that, we decided to embed within our curriculum a reverse engineered process of building these communication skills within our students one step at a time, starting as freshmen and building blocks of education for the communication process one step at a time until they graduate our program. As a result, this subcurriculum that we embedded has been a tremendous success, and the improvements our students have made have been through the roof. We call this program Communication Across the Curriculum. Something else that we've been doing for a very long time is we've embedded a momentum year into our program. We get our freshmen out in our curriculum-based materials as soon as they hit the ground with us. That first semester, they're taking 2 to 4 classes in our area of study. It takes 4 solid years of study within natural resources to develop the needed education to solidify the ecological and statistical underpinnings that govern the natural resource field. The other thing we've done is embedded rigor into our program. We set the bar here, and we only take students that do the pole vault over it, not the limbo under it. So what does this all mean? It means that our students graduate with boots on the ground ready, confidence and ability to be that needed human capital in these important industries. With that, I'd like to introduce one of our shining stars, Harrison Booker, one of our seniors in the forestry program at ABAC.
Thank you, Dr. Scott. Hello. In my time at ABAC, I've been a part of the Forestry Club. As part of the Forestry Club, I have taken on many roles: club member, historian, vice president, and currently I am the president of the ABAC Forestry Club and student chapter of Society of American Foresters. The ABAC Forestry Club hosts many special events both on and off campus each year, but one we are most excited about this year is the 61st Annual Southern Forestry Conclave. The conclave is a competition comprised of traditional forestry techniques such as crosscut sawing and pole felling, as well as technical and educational skills that are learned in the classroom, like tree identification and timber estimation. This year's conclave will be held on ABAC's campus and bring in over 300 competitors from 13 different schools across the Southeast, such as Clemson University, Stephen F. Austin University, the University of Georgia, and Louisiana State University. ABAC has been attending this conclave for 5 years now and has been competing in it for the last 4. In the 4 years we have competed, our overall scores have improved drastically. We encourage our team members to try and compete in both technical and physical events. I have competed personally in men's crosscut sawing, log burling, and tree identification in my 3 years of competition. In our first year competing, we placed 13th out of the 14 schools. Last year at Stephen F. Austin University in Texas, we placed 4th overall. As proud as we are to see such improvement in our scores, we are honored to have the chance to host this year, and we hope to host the best conclave to date. One step we took to take conclave to the next level was introduce a new event, Quiz Bowl. We hope this event will help get more students interested in the educational side of the competition. This event was inspired by the Student Quiz Bowl held every year at the Society of American Foresters annual meeting. Another thing unique to ABAC hosting this event is to have the entire competition on the school grounds, while other schools have always hosted this event off-site. We believe this will showcase ABAC to over 300 competitors and leave them with a lasting impression of everything ABAC and its campus has to offer. This will also be a great opportunity for the Tifton community and ABAC alumni to come see how ABAC has grown over the years. We will also be bringing FFA groups from all across the country to campus to come watch this event take place. This event will also gain national recognition due to the Steel Timber Sports Southern Collegiate Qualifier that is hosted during the conclave and being filmed by ESPN. Each school can enter one student into the competition, and the winner will go on to the Steel Timber Sports National Competition. To get conclave to be the amazing event we want it to be has taken a great deal of planning over the last calendar year. The soft skills that Dr. Scott previously spoke of have given me invaluable assets when it has come to preparing for this event. I have participated in drafting letters that were sent out to individuals and corporations throughout the forestry community, creating budgets and designing sponsorship forms, as well as coming up with event schedules and communicating with various students and staff from participating colleges. The presentation, papers, written reports, and especially the communication skills that were taught in our classes have helped prepare me for the undertaking of these tasks. Not only has ABAC given me the skills I will need to be successful in my career after graduation, it has given me the chance to test and refine these skills in my club and student activities. I would now like to introduce Dr. Leslie Pryor, Assistant Professor of Biology.
Thank you, Harrison. Since I began my professorship at ABAC a couple of years ago, I have been pleasantly surprised to find that my colleagues across departments are deeply involved in scholarship. Biology professor Dr. Heather Cathcart has taught me that people and nematodes have more in common than you would think. She is using these critters to look at proteins and genes underlying Alzheimer's disease. In wildlife, Dr. Vanessa Lane is swabbing the faces of snakes to look at the spread of fungus in reptiles that is leading to their decline across the state of Georgia. There are many unique opportunities and resources available at ABAC for faculty to help them engage in scholarship that generates opportunities for our students to get involved in research. The Gail Dillard Faculty Enrichment Fund allows faculty to receive up to $10,000 of support for research and scholarship. In the fall, 7 faculty members received this award. In environmental horticulture, Dr. James McCrennan will use his award to purchase an instrument that will allow students to measure the amount of chlorophyll in turf grass. These awards are literally helping to make the grass greener at ABAC. Speaking on behalf of myself and my fellow science colleagues, thank you very much to the USG Board of Regents. We are really enjoying our new lab sciences building. This building now serves as the hotspot on campus for experimentation in microbiology, genetics, cell biology, and biomechanics. As you can see, our research students are really enjoying it as well. Many of these students will go on to present at national conferences. In its mission to facilitate student engagement, STEPS acts as a conduit between faculty and students and the financial resources that we need for student travel and professional development. Our Center for Teaching and Learning recently offered a workshop for interdisciplinary discussion on mentored research. Lastly, there are a couple of other learning technologies available to students and faculty, such as the 3D printer and surface scanner. A freshman student, Jana Zinker, is currently using the 3D printer to print a collection of scans of fossil primate skulls. These scans come from an NSF collaborative project I was a part of as a graduate student, involving researchers across the country and internationally. The surface scanner is also a valuable asset. A current faculty member, Dr. Andrew McIntosh, is writing a proposal to use the surface scanner at the American Museum of Natural History and the Smithsonian to allow a student to collect data on skull shape of rodent species, living and fossil. I would like to now introduce Mr. Giovanni Raya, an ABAC biology major. Mr. Raya has conducted research in my lab as a paid research assistant from funds awarded from the Faculty Enrichment Grant, and continued work on this research through an independent research course and obtained academic credit. Mr. Raya?
Thank you, Dr. Pryor. Let me start off by talking about how mentored research has helped me progress to where I am today. For starters, mentored research has allowed me to apply the knowledge I had gained through my courses in practical research situations. By doing this, I was not only reinforcing what I was learning in the classroom, I was also improving my critical and analytical thinking skills. The one-on-one mentorship provided also created a better learning environment. Instead of learning about something through a PowerPoint or textbook, I was able to learn hands-on. For example, while collecting bone samples at Mercer University, I was given a human anatomy lesson on an actual human cadaver. How cool is that? So it's positive environments like this that foster curiosity and encourage students to ask questions. Furthermore, it gives students the opportunity to learn new essential procedures that aren't taught in the lab. I, for example, used a fluorescent dye to stain bone samples, which I then embedded in plastic. This procedure makes it possible for us to view the bone samples underneath a microscope. And with the help of Augusta State University, we produce confocal images of these bone cells, which are used by a program I'm currently training on. What you see on the screen above is a video I made using that program. It uses confocal images to create 3D visuals, which we use to characterize the bone cells seen on the screen, allowing us to gain a better understanding of factors that influence bone health. Learning essential techniques like these gives students a feeling of self-accomplishment as well as a huge boost in confidence. Confidence that I definitely needed whenever I presented my research at the Undergraduate Research Conference at Georgia College and State University, and especially right now. Situations like these place students outside their comfort zone, giving them the opportunity to hone their verbal and writing communication skills. These valuable experiences I've gained from my mentored research at ABAC have helped me open new doors. Over the summer, I was part of a competitive program at UGA called an RU, which is funded by the National Science Foundation and helps provide undergraduates an opportunity to gain research experience with other institutions and labs. One of the things that stood out to them, and a major reason to why I was accepted to the program, were the research skills I had gained from my mentored research with ABAC. And as I continue to further my education, the base that ABAC has helped provide has given me, a first-generation high school graduate, a first-generation college graduate, and hopefully a first-generation PhD graduate, the opportunity to gain a head start in the career field that I am pursuing. Mentored research at ABAC has not only increased my chances of becoming a successful researcher, it has also prepared me for life outside of college. And now I would like to introduce to you Professor of Journalism, Dr. Tom Grant.
Thanks, Giovanni. 6 years ago, at the urging of my dean, I took some students with me when I traveled to teach a photo workshop in the outer Himalayas of India. The culmination of that trip was a meeting with the Dalai Lama at his residence in Dharamshala. Now, when the Dalai Lama meets you, he grabs on really tight and holds like he's known you forever, and maybe something good rubs off, because when one of my students got back, she got a really great job. And I began this adventure in study abroad, where I try to help students make physical connections between their lessons at ABAC and the world. We read Victor Hugo, and then we travel to Paris so our students can walk the same streets as Esmeralda and Jean Valjean. We take students to Rome, where they can visit the UN Food and Agriculture Organization and share Palm Sunday Mass with Pope Francis. And we returned to India, where my students, with the help of a faculty enrichment grant, made a feature-length documentary called Elephants in the Coffee. It's about the deadly conflicts between the farmers who grow coffee beans for Starbucks and the endangered Asian elephants who now live on the plantation. The film has been shown around the world, in New York and London, Mumbai, and it's won prizes at film festivals and competitions. But more important, it led us to a company called Logos Technologies in Virginia, a company that makes high-tech aerial surveillance equipment. And now Logos has joined us in a grant proposal to U.S. Fish and Wildlife to track elephants from the air in real time and try to warn people before they have deadly confrontations in coffee plantations. Next year, if all goes well, students from forestry, wildlife, and communications will be back in India studying elephants and trying to find out whether they can help farmers and elephants coexist. Of course, I'm just one of the many professors who help connect ABAC to the world. We have professors who lead environmental studies in Belize, forestry and wildlife studies in Costa Rica, literature studies in England and Ireland. We have business professors who take students to meet Coca-Cola executives in the capitals of Europe, professors who take communication students to Germany and hope to lead ag students to study the cattle industry in Argentina. We are a small school, but we know we have to prepare students for a very big world. Here's one of the students who traveled with me last year, Amanda Mohammed.
Thank you, Dr. Grant. Rome, Italy served as my study abroad during my sophomore year at ABAC. Over the duration of 12 days, sites like the Colosseum and attending Palm Sunday Mass at the Vatican exposed me to a culture I had only previously seen on a travel channel. Our visits to the Food and Agriculture Organization and the World Food Program then led me to exploring opportunities of interning abroad. This past summer, I was granted the opportunity to do just that. Through the U.S. Department of State Internship Program, I was placed at the U.S. Embassy in Trinidad and Tobago. As an intern in the heart of embassy and community collaboration, the Public Affairs Office allowed me to use my skills and knowledge to aid and learn from the community I was in. It hadn't even been a week of being at the job that my Public Affairs Officer told me I'd be speaking to over 200 students and their teachers about my experiences through college, the importance of higher education, and the educational opportunities they could gain in the U.S. From here, I tailored my internship experience to focus on the education initiative. Later that summer, I realized how much of a small, connected world we live in when a professor I previously met at numerous conferences walked into the education office with her students in tow. Little did I know that I'd be given a piece of South Georgia at what I like to call my second home. That reminder came from a visit of Albany State University's social work program. My educational journey at ABAC gave me the foundation in which I needed to succeed at my internship, and will do so well on after. Soft skills and base knowledge on various topics were developed over a course of my time at ABAC, where I've been able to apply them to on-the-job training, increase my cultural awareness, and develop a global perspective lens. Because of my experiences through classes, study abroad, and my internship, I am currently focusing on a senior research study. This study will explore e-health literacy perceptions among ABAC college students and their ability to navigate electronic health information. My mentors for this research, Mr. Troy Spicer, the Dean of Nursing and Health Sciences, and Dr. Israel Martinez, our Fulbright scholar from Mexico, who is an expert in the field of biomedical informatics, have mentored me both personally and professionally while in the Rural Community Development Program. I could name many others who have helped me during my 4-year journey, but we will be here for a while. Looking forward to graduation in May of this year, I will be continuing my education and training. So far, I've applied to numerous postbachelorate public health summer programs at the University of Michigan, Columbia University, and Morehouse College, just to name a few. I'm also in the process of applying to the Centers for Disease Control's public health training program. This 2-year program will allow me to use the foundation I built at ABAC to develop on-the-job skills in public health. And after gaining more hands-on training in the community, I would like to pursue a master's in public health at schools like Columbia and Emory, and someday hold a PhD in health policy. I owe the opportunities and development my future goals to ABAC and its faculty and staff. I would now like to turn your attention to what fellow ABAC students have done for their internships.